For decades, this company did not simply lead its industry. It defined how the world captured memory, emotion, and history itself. Its name became a verb, its product a ritual, its presence almost invisible because it felt permanent. Few corporations have ever reached such cultural and economic dominance, and even fewer have fallen from it so completely. This is not a story about technology alone. It is a story about certainty, hesitation, and a cost of believing tomorrow will wait. Welcome to Corporate Collapse. Kodak, how the company that invented the future lost it. For most of the 20th century, this company did more than dominate an industry. It shaped how humanity remembered itself. Kodak was present at birthdays, weddings, holidays, and ordinary days that later became priceless memories. Its name felt permanent, almost inseparable from the act of taking a photograph. To many families, Kodak was not a corporation, but a silent witness to their lives. Kodak was founded on a simple but profound insight. People did not care about cameras or chemical processes. They cared about preserving moments. By making photography easy, affordable, and accessible, Kodak transformed it from a professional craft into a mass experience. This shift changed culture, not just commerce, and it altered how history itself would be documented. The company's business model was remarkably elegant. Customers bought a Kodak camera once, but they returned again and again for film and processing. Every photograph created future demand, locking consumers into an ecosystem that rewarded loyalty, scale, and consistency. Few companies have ever built such a self-reinforcing cycle. Over time, this model built an empire. Kodak's brand became one of the most recognizable in the world. Its yellow packaging, a symbol of trust and familiarity. Its research laboratories were among the most advanced ever created, producing breakthroughs not only in photography, but in chemistry, imaging, and material science. Competitors existed, but none could rival Kodak's reach, resources, or technical expertise. Inside the company, confidence gradually hardened into certainty. Kodak did not see itself as vulnerable to disruption, because it believed it would always recognize the future before it arrived. In a critical sense, this belief was justified. In the mid-1970s, a Kodak engineer invented the first digital camera. The device was crude, slow, and impractical by consumer standards, but its implications were unmistakable. Photography could exist without film, without chemicals, and without printing. Kodak had glimpsed the future before almost anyone else. Yet this breakthrough created a paradox. Digital photography threatened the foundation of Kodak's profitability, removing the need for film, processing, and paper. The technology was promising, but the business model behind it was destructive to everything Kodak relied on. Innovation had arrived, wearing the face of existential risk. Leadership faced a choice between protecting the present and embracing the future. They chose caution. Digital photography was treated as a distant possibility, something to research quietly rather than lead aggressively, while film remained the center of Kodak's strategy. For years, this hesitation appeared rational. Film sales were still strong, consumers trusted Kodak, and the transition to digital seemed slow and uncertain. The company's financial success softened the sense of urgency and made delay feel harmless, even responsible. Outside Kodak, however, change accelerated. Electronics companies entered photography without emotional or financial attachment to film. They improved digital cameras rapidly, reduced costs, and reshaped consumer expectations around speed, convenience, and immediacy. Kodak watched these developments with confidence in its brand and research capabilities. It believed it could catch up whenever it chose, assuming that leadership and scale would always provide protection. This assumption marked the beginning of its vulnerability. This was the invisible warning phase, when surface indicators still looked healthy while the underlying structure weakened. As digital adoption increased, film usage declined faster than Kodak expected, and once consumers stopped buying film, they also stopped printing photographs. The collapse of the ecosystem was swift. Without printing, Kodak's recurring revenue disappeared, and without film, its historic advantages lost relevance. The company began to react, but it was always slightly behind the curve, adjusting rather than defining the market. Kodak launched digital cameras and invested heavily in new technologies, even becoming one of the largest digital camera sellers for a brief period. Yet digital photography was a fundamentally different market, defined by thin margins, intense competition, and rapid innovation. The rules that once guaranteed dominance no longer applied. Scale, once Kodak's greatest strength, offered little protection. At the same time, the company's internal structure remained rooted in the era of film. With high costs, slow decision-making, and a culture shaped by chemical processes rather than software and electronics. Every move towards digital required sacrificing legacy businesses that still generated revenue. Each delay made transformation more difficult, while each compromise weakened the company's position on both sides. Kodak was trapped between what it had been and what it needed to become. The point of no return arrived when smartphones transformed photography completely. Cameras became features rather than products. Images were shared instantly, and printing became optional rather than essential. Photography was no longer a separate activity. It was woven into daily life. This shift eliminated Kodak's remaining value proposition. Revenue fell rapidly, while costs remained high, turning years of gradual decline into an acute crisis. The company attempted reinvention through printing, patents, and new ventures, but none could replace its former core. Eventually, Kodak filed for bankruptcy protection. A name once synonymous with innovation and memory became a cautionary tale of missed opportunity and delayed action. The fall was not sudden, but it was decisive. Kodak did not fail because it lacked technology or talent. It failed because it could not fully abandon what had made it successful. The company saw the future clearly, but it could not accept the consequences of leading it. Its dominance created fear of self-disruption, and its success made change feel optional. In a market that evolves relentlessly, that belief proved fatal. The story of Kodak is not ultimately about digital cameras or smartphones. It is about mindset. Innovation does not destroy companies. Comfort does. The most dangerous moment for any organization is when it believes its position is secure and its past guarantees its future. Kodak taught the world how to capture memories, but it could not release its own. In the end, hesitation was not a pause in progress. It was the decision that defined Kodak's collapse. The collapse of this company was not caused by a lack of intelligence, talent, or innovation. It was caused by a mindset shaped by past success and an unwillingness to fully let go of what once worked. When an organization confuses legacy with security, it stops adapting and starts defending. Markets do not punish failure as harshly as they punish delay. The most dangerous risk is not disruption from the outside, but resistance from within. Every dominant company faces this moment eventually. Few recognize it in time. This was corporate collapse.